hunting season opens this summer.
Yes, begin, bone bag!
Welcome back to the 13th annual Halloween special. Tonight we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of Casper, the 1995 film directed by Brad Silberling, produced by Steven Spielberg, and starring a whole bunch of people if you count the cameos. The movie's about an afterlife therapist and his daughter who meet a friendly young ghost when they move into a crumbling mansion in order to rid the premises of wicked spirits. The therapist of ghosts is played by Bill Pullman, and his daughter is Christina Ricci, who of course was like the 90s goth queen of young adult horror between this and the Addams Family movies. And I was able to see this movie at the theaters for the first time because it is in theatrical re-release right now. My wife and I went, and I took our best friend who has never seen this movie ever, and so it was a lot of fun to be able to watch his reactions to it. Casper is not necessarily a classic movie. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it is one of those extremely nostalgic family movies from the 90s that strangely I was not allowed to see when I was 7 or 8 years old because of the ghost thing. Jehovah's Witnesses are not allowed to watch movies that have ghosts or spirits or anything along those lines, and so I didn't see it until much later, but it is still very nostalgic for me because the iconography of this movie was everywhere. It felt like every single VHS of a kid's film that I rented from Blockbuster back in the day had a trailer for Casper on it. I saw the poster everywhere, and for some strange reason, I'm actually nostalgic for the desire to watch Casper because I would always want to see it and not be allowed. I was like, it's PG. I should be allowed to watch this, but just the presence of ghosts was an instant no. And so the desire to watch something when you're not allowed to watch it is equally as cool as watching it. It's very strange, but that created the feeling of wanting to do it even more. It's almost worse for a parent to tell a kid they can't do something than just letting them experience something, because it makes you want to do the thing way more than if you just went and watched Casper and called it a night. If you've never seen Casper before, there are going to be some spoilers mentioned in this video. It is a totally fun family movie. Don't expect it to be the best film you've ever seen, but it is worth watching at some point, especially around this time of year. This was a really interesting theater experience because I actually saw it at a local theater that wasn't a chain, and the room didn't even have recliners or any of that fancy new theater stuff. The carpeting still kind of smells like stale popcorn. All the seats were fabric, not fake leather. It just felt like I was in a theater in the mid-90s getting to watch Casper for the first time. I've seen this movie probably 3 or 4 times at this point, and the thing that immediately struck me on this viewing is how much adult stuff is in this PG movie for kids. There's characters that chain smoke in this movie. They're introduced putting out a cigarette butt. Bill Pullman, at his lowest point in the film, goes out and gets exceptionally drunk and does karaoke and then dies. The 3 bad guy ghosts, they curse a lot. There's a fair amount of language in the movie. It doesn't feel like a typical kids film. Nowadays, it feels like if you have any language in a film at all, it's instantly PG-13. The film also features some insane cameos. My friend next to me, I adored watching him react to Dan Aykroyd showing up in full Ghostbusters gear, Clint Eastwood, Rodney Dangerfield, and Mel Gibson. He looked at me like, did that really just happen? It also has a musical score composed by one of the best to ever do it, James Horner, and it's lensed by Dean Cundey. Casper had a lot of things going for it. It's not the best film. Some of the CGI has aged very poorly because it is one of the first, if not the first film to have a fully CGI character. And I've talked about this in the past. I'm not a big fan of knocking movies for CGI or elements like that have aged poorly because I think it's very charming. It's of the era. It's something that presents the movie as it was. This was the peak of our technology at that time. This is a lot of very hardworking people coming together to do the best thing they could in 1995. And I will never look at something and be like, well, it doesn't hold up, compared to today. That's such a pointless thing to say. Of course, we have achieved greater heights of CGI, but honestly, sometimes I feel like we've achieved too great of heights to the point where there's this uncanniness to CGI now where even though things look more photorealistic, I'm somehow more taken out of it than I am looking at something like 95's Casper. It's obviously a cartoon in this film, but for whatever reason, the way people are interacting with it, and because The rest of the movie is real. These are real sets, amazing production design, great locations. I somehow buy it a little more than I do today's overly complicated, flashy CG. Also, of course, this movie being shot on film means something too, because there's a grain to it, there's a softness to it. It looks like a real movie. You know what I mean? This is also a really fun role for Bill Pullman, because I think a lot of us recognize him from Independence Day and some of his other films as this very gruff and serious character. But if you've seen Casper, or even better, Zero Effect, this guy has so much range that he's often not given enough credit for. There are some moments in the film that are a little interesting to watch nowadays. Near the end of the movie, as Pullman is trying to reconnect with his wife that passed away, she kind of floats down like an angel and has this little moment, and it's a little cheesy, but it's the type of thing where it's like this earnestness to movies in the 90s, where people nowadays, they laugh at that like we all have to be so serious and we're not allowed to be sincere. We're not allowed to be earnest. That's something we should mock, and we all have to pretend like robots. We don't have emotions anymore. I really miss the time where young Devon Sawa could look at Christina Ricci in the eye, float in air during a Halloween party with her off the ground and say, "Can I keep you?" and have it be completely sincere and definitely not something a serial killer would ever say to one of his victims. I'll also say that when it comes to this movie, I am literally the prime audience for it. If there is any show or movie that came out in the 1990s that is children or family oriented, that is of a supernatural or paranormal, monsters, some kind of horror nature, I'm there. If it's Goosebumps, if it's Eerie, Indiana, if it's Are You Afraid of the Dark, if it's Casper, Jumanji, any of these films that felt like that from my childhood, it's almost impossible for me to not feel warm and fuzzy about it. So happy 30th anniversary to Casper. Not the greatest film ever made, but it does hold a special place in my heart, and I had a blast seeing it with my wife and my best friend tonight. We had a lot of fun, and if you've never seen Casper, I think it's enjoyable, and it can be that type of thing that maybe you put on at a Halloween party and everybody kind of enjoys having it on. If it did mean something to you as a kid, I'm sure you've seen it a million times. Maybe check it out again this spooky season. Guys, thank you so much for continuing to watch the 13th annual Halloween special. And please look forward to my film Shelby Oaks, which is coming out October 24th in theaters everywhere. I'm so excited to share this movie with you. It was really crazy tonight to like go to a theater and watch a movie and walk by my poster in the lobby. It's a very, very insane experience. Guys, thank you so much. As always, look forward to more videos very soon. If you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.